Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Doriansdiyaudio. So, what we got here going on today is it's time for me to do an upgrade in the Tacoma. Let's quickly go check out her, do a real quick once over so you guys know what I'm working with here. I've been riding like this for a little bit, and tell you the truth, the system sounds really good. The price point that it came in, tuned, it sounds really good. Anyway, let's just look at what we got so we can see where we're going. All right, so I've been rolling off the stock head unit. That's been working really good. In the beginning, I had the LC7i high level to my 5-channel amp. I switched that to a DSP. Down in the doors here, we got them Infinity Kappa 6x9s and 90 CSX, and we got the tweeters up in the dash location here. Not optimal, but tuned up. They work pretty good. In the rears here, I really rear fill. I have come to kind of not need it, kind of use it, whatever. But those are just some PA speakers in there that I have tuned up, and to tell you the truth, I haven't actually used them in a while. I pretty much use those like if I'm hanging out with the buds and I want to open up the doors and have some music. Those work really fantastic for that, but I haven't been using rear fill. I have been using this Down for Sound 612 DSP with the high level inputs. That's all about to change. And then I've been using this JP95T, which is a fairly powerful 5-channel amplifier from Down for Sound. It works really well in the little system that I have in this truck. And then back here is one CT Sounds shallow 10-inch subwoofer and 1.25 cubic foot ported box that just works really well in this truck. The combination is pretty knockout. I don't care what anyone has to say, it sounds fairly decent, right? But we're gonna make some changes, and those changes are gonna start here. I have the Stinger High 10 head unit. Now, the reason I like this is it does have the HDMI, and it also has Toslink outputs amongst all the other creatures accoutrements that modernly will need. I'm not a big head unit guy, but I did measure it. Everything seems clear. I picked up this pack here, integration system, separately a while back ago from Woot, and thought I might use it on something else, but now I'm going to use it on that. So what we're looking at here is here's RCA cables. I'm going to run 2 sets of RCA cables to the back, so I have front and subwoofer, right, to go into the DSP. We have an HDMI cable. We have a Toslink cable. We have some speaker cable. This is a digital coax. I am going to be using this a little bit differently than how I have been using it. This is a FiO DAP M11S, I believe that one is. We are going to be reinstalling this. I have this. I've been using this. This is a new one. I have this in another vehicle. This reclocker, whatever you want to call it, the SMSL PO 100 Pro. I don't know what it does, but it does some magic there. As you can see, we got some stuff for soldering here, some soldering guns, heat guns, and then we have ourselves some XT90 connectors, 2 different sizes that we're going to be adding in because, well, you'll see that as we go down the line. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let's get this thing ripped apart, and we got a lot of things to do now. All right, so I had to ditch the hat. It's hotter than the hog's butt out here. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's get this stock head unit pulled out, and we're gonna start here, and we're ultimately gonna wind up kind of ripping the truck apart as usual. But if you have a Toyota Tacoma, follow along. For everybody else, I'm not going to go super crazy with the information because I want everybody to be able to enjoy it. Alrighty. All right, so as you can see, it was quick to take these 4 bolts out. This just pulls off with a little tug, and we're gonna get our head unit out, and this is gonna expose some of the wiring from previous. Okay, so I made a T-harness that ran down back to the audio control LC7i at the time. Now it's going into the DSP high levels in. We're gonna leave the remote wire running through here to turn everything on, because that's how I trigger everything. But these wires here now are not going to be used to send signal back, since I'm going to be putting the RCA or putting all of the other options in for signal source to be going back there. So I'm going to convert this here to the wires that are going to be for my mids and my highs, and we'll extend back on the backside if necessary. So let's go ahead and get all of this disconnected, just to make this simple and clean, get this factory radio out of here. Simple. I'm not even gonna go through what all of these wires are, because I kind of don't need to, as the new harness will just kind of accept everything as it needs to be. All right, y'all, so I got all of the wires sourced out how I believe they're going to be utilized. But what I want to do here is I want to show you guys what the factory setup looked like on the outside here. The next step in the set is for me to attach the new faceplate and all of that to this here. So I just wanted to quickly show you how we're going from this here to what you'll see me go through there in a short while. All right, now here is the aftermarket head unit that I'm going to be putting in there. Right now it has kind of like a screen protector on it. That's why it looks the way it looks, kind of scratched up, whatever. That will come off in a moment, but let's go ahead and figure out what we need to get all of this stuff mounted on. Now this is the 7, and I believe that's the size that I need. Should fit there perfectly, as it does. Oh yeah, that's gonna be sweet, huh? All right, so now we have this all bolted down. That's on there good. Everything's nice and tight. I took the 4 screws out of the back here, and we're gonna put the screen into its home, where it should fit nice and snug. Oh, that is a nice fit right there, huh? And then we're gonna put these 4 screws in, and that's gonna get this whole front section here done, and then we can go into the truck and start wiring. All right, so the new head unit is now completely attached to the front bezel. We could go ahead and we could stick that off to the side, because now we have to start working on the main brain and the rest of the modules and harnesses. So let's just set this off to the side here. Okay, now we have located what looks to be the left side and the right side bracketry. We'll go ahead and get the main brain and kind of go on from there. All right, so I had to refer back to the video here from Stinger, which I'll drop down in the comments for you guys to see, or somewhere description. Let's go ahead and get these put in, and we're just trying to get this all lined up so we can start installing this into the vehicle itself. Okay, now in this video it shows using these screws, but the threads on here, at least on this side, are a machine thread, while these are a much coarser thread, which I believe is going to be for this side here. All right, and it does show that these go in upside down. For now, we'll obviously check that to make sure that that's the right orientation once we get installing this. Now these ones might fit in here much easier because it is a different style. This is like a heat sink over here. And yeah, that bodes much more better into this heat sink over here. So on one side it gets these pan head screws here, and on the other side it gets a machine style screw. So be careful when installing that and aware of that also. I'm gonna scoot this much forward a little bit more, just a scooch. All right, so as I was saying, one side gets these style, and then this side over here gets a different style. I'm not sure if that's absolutely correct, but I did put 3 in here. This is basically just to hold the head unit in place as the screen is bolted to the bezel there. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in a truck right now real quick just to make sure it looks right, and then we'll move forward from there. Okay, so real quick here, in the description, one of the first thing it tells you to do is break these ears off. And then if you watch the video, it tells you to zip tie that there. I like a lot of bass. I like to crank her up. So good thing that I busted those off, and we're gonna skip that. I have some 15-pound Velcro here. I picked this up from Home Depot quite some time ago. It's not hard to find if you're looking for it. But let's go ahead and get this pulled out. And I think it comes with 3 separate pieces. I'm gonna go get some alcohol wipes and wipe this down real quick, and wipe this so that it's a nice clean connection, so that we can make these stick nice and easy. And she ain't going nowhere. We won't hear no buzzes, no rattles, no noise from that. So give me a second, we'll be back on that one there. All right, now you can see I'm being careful to keep any of these vents open. I am one who most definitely don't like to restrict airflow, as I know restricting airflow on any piece of electronics is at least to start a bad juju for it. So if you can avoid restricting any airflow on anything, always make sure to do such. All right, and there we go. She's down, and this bad boy is not going anywhere now. I've used this stuff before, and it is pretty tough stuff there. All right, 15 pounds. They were very liberal when they gave that weight rating on there. Which is good. That's what you want. So as we can see, I think I may have that backwards, which is fine, because I think we can just take this and see what I mean by very liberal. And I think that needs to go this way. And we could scooch it forward a little bit if we need to, because the Velcro will keep a little air off. There's only one little there. So there we go. That's all set. And let's go back and see what else we need. All right, so now we have the harness that was believed to be needed for this truckaroos. Let's go ahead and get that plugged in. Figured out. Now the nice thing about this is this harness, you can only plug things in one way, right? So I just grabbed that to see if that's it. If it fits, it ships. So that doesn't fit there, so let's just continue on. I think this is her. All right, that's it. If it fits, it ships. That's a simple thing. The nice thing about this. There we go. That looks much more better. There we go. All right. So all of that's in. And now I just want to take the head unit and plug this stuff in, and we can kind of check to make sure everything works. And then once we have that, we can go ahead and move forward once again. I'm sorry if I seem a little odd today. I am under the weather. I have been under the weather. It is what it is. So just a slight click in, nothing crazy. Power on. Head unit powers up, which is no. All right, so head unit's in. Let's go ahead. I want to check the volume on here works good. The volume on my steering wheel control works good. And skipping tracks. I can skip a track. That's good. So pretty much everything I need to work on here is good. I got power. I'm not using the head unit's amplifier to power anything at all. It's going to be RCA and optical out. So that's all good. I'm pretty happy. I do have to take this apart. We'll go down into the lab real quick. I gotta solder 2 wires together. We'll do that real quick, and then we're gonna continue moving on. All right, y'all, so I went ahead and I clicked in the T-harness that I had made before, just because I kind of wanted to just kind of double check real quick. This is what we have here. Let's just go ahead. We have volume. I'm going to check some music just to see how things sound, okay? But so far I'm happy at where we're at with this stage. So give me a couple minutes and we'll be back.